All right. Hello. My name is Joey DiBenedetto. I'm the managing director of sales here over at Real Estate Experts, and I have an expert on fire for you. Her name is Audrey CQ to her friends and Audrey Carlos Quiggins to her not friends. So you know who you are if you know how to say her last name. But the reason why I have Audrey here is because Audrey has truly gone from new agent to independent agent to team leader to now being one of the top three teams at our brokerage with almost 100 agents. She's leading the way in a way that most of them haven't even fathomed. In a market that is 30 to 40% down, Audrey's business is 20% up year over year, which is absolutely amazing. And so the first thing I want to do is just give Audrey a second to introduce herself, tell a little bit about her story. So Audrey, tell everyone a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. That sounds kind of crazy, like you're talking about someone else. I'm still wrapping my head around some of it, but I have worked hard, and I think there's a lot of people out there maybe thinking about getting in the business, or maybe they're in the business and it still seems like it's all so easy, and it's not. It takes a lot of hard work, and I think really it takes alignment with really good people in the business who really have something to offer you, and then hopefully you can take that and offer that, to others. And so that's why I came over was to, Brett's leadership. I could see it from afar. I watched him. I always was a creeper, so to speak, on agents. I wanted to know what business people were doing. I didn't even know how to figure this business out, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to watch the people that are doing really well and try to just pick up one thing, and it takes time when you do it that way. I didn't get into I did go to a lot of different coaching coming up, but never really formally. But I remember watching Brett and just realizing that he had something different, and I wanted to come over and really learn from, some of the best agents in the industry. I knew NECA before I came over as well. So I did reach out to a few people, and it was a great move for me. It was definitely in alignment with where I wanted to go with my business.
I really appreciate you saying all that. You said something that I want to touch on, which you said, I started watching agents and I wanted to just get the one thing. And I think this is a really key factor in distinguishing your business from others, and why you've experienced growth over others is because you are laser focused on making sure whatever the one thing is that you're doing gets done and gets done well. And I honestly, this has been a really tough market. I mean, anybody whether you got into real estate now or you've been in it for 10 years, you know that we're in a tough market. Inventory is down, prices are down right now. So how are you handling that market, or what's the one thing, like, how are you focusing in?
Yeah, I think, I think it's kind of what happened during COVID. Everybody was like, kind of like, what do we do? And they all just sat back, and I just thought, action. You just have to do something, whatever it is. And I remember one of my mentors, long-term mentors in the business that I still, listen to, and I think has a lot of great insight, was to find something you love doing. Well, I love relationships. I love people. I could never be a lighthouse keeper. It's just not my nature, so I enjoy going and doing things with my clients. I know there's people that are very, I'm very, very social. And so to be able to go do things with my clients and have them say to me like, wow, you were just amazing. I had friends that tried to get a house, took them over a year. We offered one time. I had clients who told me, hey, you are amazing. I made 5 offers with another agent, and then you did it once and we got it. And, I think it's really, like, for me, it's that relationship key. Is always following up and always making them comfortable through the process. That was a huge thing for me, was just figuring out that referrals and kind of nurturing the people that I was getting into my sphere, whether it was from my website or, people had met, just through my daughter's school or whatever, is that I'm always there to help them. And even if it's something I can't do right now, I've helped my cousins out of state, putting them with a good lender, just creating that trust and that bond, it fits me anyway. So it's like a perfect fit, right? Is do what you love and go do that, and you'll do really well.
There's really strong alignment there for you, which obviously shows up in your business. But one thing that you did that I want to acknowledge you for is when the market took a dump last year, I mean, it really just like hit the brakes. Most people start to focus on what can I do right now to generate enough opportunity right now. Yeah. And you did that because you had a good year, but what's amazing that you did is you also focused on the later. You focused on the nurture of all of your people. You started hosting more events. You had wine and cheese. Like you did events where you had a photographer come to make people look good and sound good and feel good. Yeah. Like you and I both know that the deals you closed this last 4 or 5 months are not from these last 4 or 5 months. They're from 6, 7, 8 months ago when you did the work to nurture those clients. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about those events that you were doing.
Yeah, I really like events. So I'm a member at a local winery close by. And I thought, what a great thing to be able to do is and the environment there is beautiful. It's got a huge, beautiful outdoor area. And so I just I do these yearly, it's a client appreciation in October. And then, of course, Real Estate Experts has a bunch of events too. So I tie in and my clients are like, oh, you guys are always doing something. I'm like, yeah, because we love to give back and we love to enjoy our time with you. It's not, they realize it's not about chucking keys at them and going, I'm not a transactional agent. And there are those agents out there, and that's fine. I just don't want to do business that way. But yeah, so some events are like that one. So we hire a photographer. We gave away a 55-inch TV last year in October, and we have professional photos redone for them and digitally, cleaned up and give it back to each one of them sometime in October so that they can do with it what they want, whether that's send it out to their family, whether it's posted on their Instagram, or, maybe they're gonna make holiday cards. One person made a New Year's Eve card. I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, just giving people, something that's fun, and it makes them sort of see you as a human that's working your butt off and also giving back.
Yeah. And what I love about this sort of conversation is that I'm sure you were not doing this when you started in real estate. Like, you've come a long way. And when you started, the first day you got into real estate, I'm sure you weren't thinking, what I want to do is I want to host an event at the winery I'm at and have a photographer and get pictures done and then send it out to them and also leverage this pie event and do this and that. Like, we've come a long way. Yeah. And so there's agents who are going to be watching this who are either just getting into the business or are right behind sort of where you are right now. Like, what was it that got you from where you started to where you are today? Like, what were some of the key moments that really took you from there to here?
I think the pandemic did, because I saw a lot of people not work. I saw a lot of people sit, and I'll tell you what, I went on referral. I went out to an area I didn't even know existed, and I learned everything I needed to know about it. And I competed with agents who were half the agents that we are here in the Bay Area, because it was outside of the Bay Area. I took 9 trips and put $30,000 in my pocket to feed my family during the pandemic. During a 2.5 month span, I put 3 people in contract and went 9 times. It's like, I did have to put effort into it. I did have to travel. I remember people saying, like, why are you going all the way out there? And I'm like, because that's where my client needs to buy. And I'm going to help them achieve their goals. And we never know, like, we're never guaranteed anything in this business. Is you have to always be willing to go the extra mile, so to speak, even if it was real miles,
Extra 10, 20, 30 miles.
Exactly. So the shift last year, just kind of getting to that too. I did feel an impact in my business, and it sucked. It was down just like everybody else, like it was for brokerages and like it was for top agents. Even top agents, very top of you were doing less last year. It was tough, that market shift, and then rates going up and buyers getting scared. And I just kept focusing on how am I going to continue building my business. And follow-up was a big key. Follow-up and relationships. That's kind of I think that's the 2 key things for me, was follow-up, and doing the kind of business I wanted, right? Doing the relational business. And then also my website that I had been putting money and time and effort into for, 3 years now, finally started to come to fruition. All those dials, all those people I texted to see if they wanted to go look at a property finally came, full circle. And so I'm doing the kind of business I want now, which is crazy because I remember wanting to quit real estate and go back. I'll just go back and sell luxury cars. I'm really good at that. Well, I knew I'd be miserable, and I'm never miserable doing this. So it was just about like always just pulling up your bootstraps and going, okay, this is a tough market. I was scared last year when we weren't doing planning for this year until really late for me. Like I'm used to doing it in October or November. And so it's like, it is about getting your mind ready for how are you going to get out of where you're at. So it was a down year, but how are you going to fix that? Right.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you said that the big thing happened for you during the pandemic, which was a market shift. It was a mindset shift. It was a lifestyle shift. It was everything shifted for us. And what's interesting is that whatever happened for you, whatever you made happen in that shift has now put you on track. You're pacing to do $1 million in GCI this year. Like I know, isn't that unbelievable? Like not unbelievable, but it's absolutely incredible because of the work, the shift that you made. So talk to me about that, because I want to hear what that is. I want to talk about first, what's your daily activity look like? Like what's your daily shift that's different now than it was back then?
I mean, I think I just do more of it as I've, really, really engaged in our office and in being here and in learning from others. I heard an agent the other day who got her license maybe a year and a half ago, talking to another agent on the phone. And I'm very much about relationships. And the way she approached it, when she got off, I said, hey, that was amazing listening to you. And she was like, really? And I'm like, yes. Like I learned from everyone. And so, you can sit your ass at home and there, it's easy to do that. But I know that being a part of your business and showing up every day, it's so easy to make excuses when no one's looking. But when you're here, you're going to get a certain amount of work done no matter what, if you're here, right? So if I'm not out showing a property, I'm here Monday through Friday. You can always count on me. When people come in that are new, I greet everyone. I want them to feel welcome. I want them to have success. Being a player hater that's not who I am. I want somebody to succeed as much as I want to succeed. When I see these big players coming in with huge books of business that have been doing business a long, long time, I don't hate what anyone does. I just go, you know what? If you want what they have, you got to do what they did to get what they got. And I believe that. And they're here every day, so that's kind of that's the shift is. I think I've always been that way, but I think I really have focused on being a part of everything that fits me right now, which is being at the office every day. I ran out and showed property today. I wrote an offer while I was waiting to talk to you. That's what you got to be willing to shuffle your day, keep a calendar, and stick to it. It's really hard to just stick to your calendar and not just go out for cocktails and lunch, because there is no boss watching except you. So yeah, that's really it. And Joey, I want to thank you too, is like just, being a part of the accountability groups with my peers and with you. And then also being a part of the growth coaching is we're all so scattered and our minds have so much in them, is just to slow it down and focus on one thing has been really helpful for me. And I really do have you to thank for that, and that's what I love about being here is we're always learning. It's just like, my brain is always being fed, which I think that's what a lot of agents lack, is they're not getting fed. Their minds aren't getting fed. And so they're bored. I love what I do.
Well, you're first of all, thank you for saying that. But let me just tell you, I show up, I want to show up the same for everybody. Like whether they're the top agent in the group or they're the bottom agent, but I can show up for everybody. The way you show up for yourself, I can't control. So while I appreciate the acknowledgement, let's just be real. Like the only reason why you're successful is because you decided to make the commitment to do that. So I appreciate the acknowledgement. And at the same time, you show up to accountability every week. You show up to group coaching every week. You're at every team meeting in person. Like you show up in a way that the agents who are not producing do not. And there's a very clear distinction between what happens when you show up versus you don't. And so I appreciate you sharing that about the daily shift in sort of your thinking and your actions. What about your mindset? Like, a lot of agents are struggling right now. They're in a funk. They've got a market that's 40% down. They're trying to
Yeah.
figure out where the hell their next meal is going to come from. They can't get buyers to make a decision to save their life. They can't find a listing to help them. Like, where's your mindset at?
Again, relationships matter. So, making sure that when you're going to go out and do a showing, don't just show up because it says vacant, reach out to the listing agent, so that by the time they actually get an offer from you, they're pretty excited because they see your engagement, they see your investment, and a lot of preemptive offers. I mean, you just got to be ready. You just got to say, you got to get the buyers. You have to let go of the buyers that aren't ready to run, and you got to find the buyers that are ready to run. Same with the sellers. If they're hesitant right now, you could wait, sure, but there will always be a reason to not buy or not sell. And having great relationships with my preferred lenders, I have to say that's been one of the biggest keys that I think a lot of agents miss. I have a couple preferred lenders that I work pretty darn close with, and we have meetings every week. We shoot video every week talking about what's happening in the finance world for buyers, why it's a great time to buy even when rates went up, right? We were doing video every week. These are things I send out to my clients because they need to know the pulse of what's happening. It changes constant. So yeah,
What I'm really hearing in this is that you have aggressively made the decision to be top of mind to every single person that you want to be in business with, whether they're going to transact tomorrow or 6 months from tomorrow. And so there's three things that sort of I got out of this conversation. The first for you is that relationship is driving your business forward. That your distinct decision to be in relationship with more people in a more cultivated and curated manner has provided you opportunity. The second is that you're showing up differently than you maybe were in the past. And what I mean, and I don't just mean like showing up, I mean physically showing up to the office. You decide that, like, this is my job. I'm here from 9 to 5 unless I have something else going on. And I'm flexible with what's going on, but if it's not there, it's here. And then the third piece is that this is probably the most important, which is you repeat. You are doing it over and over and over again. I see you every time I'm here. I see you in the office, even before I get there. You've got a whiteboard next to your office of every single person you need to follow up with. And you've got black markers and red markers to make sure you know who's what and who's hot and who's not. Like, and yes, you use your full CRM, and you also have this hot list. You're doing things that most agents aren't even thinking about. And so I want to take a moment to do two things. One is just acknowledge you for the work that you've done, because you are on pace to make $1 million for yourself and your family this year, which is, I know, something you've never done before. And most people don't even believe it's even physically or possible. And for you, it's more reality today than it's ever been in your entire life. And that's because of you. And the second thing is, I just want to acknowledge you for showing up for other people, because when you show up to the office, you end up creating the example of what an agent who's in production should be doing. And so if you are an agent and you're listening to this call and you're saying, okay, well, what am I going to take away from this? Please take away the fact that Audrey treats this as a job, a job. She has a calendar. In the same way, she shows up for her business the way she would expect somebody she was paying to show up for her business. And it's proving to be an amazing addition to her life, her family, her business, all of it. And so, last piece of this puzzle, this is the last question I'm going to ask you, which is, you probably had 1 million mentors. You've had 1 million people tell you things that have affected you positively in your business. If there was one piece of advice that you've gotten either over the years or recently, or something that's really stuck with you, that's helped you to get to where you are today, what would that one piece of advice be?
Wow, that's a big question. What would the one piece of advice be? Is don't expect it to be easy, but also expect that it could turn your passion into something that the hardship of it is not like, it's not even a big deal. It's like, yeah, of course I think about this at 3 a.m. It happens, but it doesn't matter to me because I love what I do so much that I wake up thinking about it. I have to quiet my mind to get focused on just waking up, right? Don't think it's going to be easy, but seek people that are open to have their hand out to help you. You know, I had a lot of people that helped me for sure. And that's how I approach everybody. My teammate now, and I feel like we're just equals. We meet each other every day, and we both have the same work ethic and mindset, which is you have to work hard. And if you're present, you're going to hear things you're not going to hear if you're just sitting at home. You know?
Yep. You surround yourself with people who are doing more than you, I guarantee you'll pick up more than you did before.
Exactly.
And so thank you for sharing that. It is not easy. It is simple. It's simple to show up. It's simple to follow a calendar, but it's not easy. And when you do the simple things and you push yourself into what's seemingly difficult, you create growth for yourself like Audrey just did. So if you are watching this call and you'd like to learn more about what Audrey's doing for her business, I will share her information with you after this video. And if you're interested in having a conversation about real estate experts and what she's taking advantage of, by all means, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to have that one-on-one with you. Audrey, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you on Wednesday at the team meeting.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.